What's good, peeps? Thanks as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. All right, nothing to do with the video, but did you watch that Jordan Gill performance yesterday? Didn't see that coming. Didn't see that coming at all. I have to admit, I didn't know too much about his opponent. I knew it was a tough fight because a lot of people said it was going to be a tough fight, but I still expected him to win, if I'm honest with you. Still expected him to win. He's come out on social media and I'm not going to say he's made excuses. Well, I kind of am, to be honest with you, but I don't want to say it. But he has kind of made excuses. I think he said something like he was ill in the lead up to the fight. He should have called the fight off, but he didn't want to because of pride. And I think he mentioned that he fractured or maybe even broke, I think it was his right hand during the fight as well. I get that. And look, these are all things that are probably true, right? He was probably ill in the lead up to the fight. And you know what? He did fracture or broke his hand in the fight. But I would almost, when a fighter loses, I just prefer you not to say anything. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me, but I just prefer you to kind of just take it and move on, right? And don't say I lost because personally, I think even a fully fit Jordan Gill might have got beat by that kid, right? And this is not Deontay Wilder video, by the way, but this is another Matchroom pushed fighter, right? In the last sort of, I don't know, 12, 18 months that I've lost, right? And you think of Lewis Ritson, pushed. And then he came up stuck against a European level fighter. Ted Cheeseman, European level fighter, pushed, and now Jordan Gill. The same things happen. So, don't know. They're going to have to look at the matchmaker and see what they're doing. Anyway, enough of that. This is about Deontay Wilder versus DOMINIC BREAZEALE, a good heavyweight fight that's coming up May 18th, Barclays Center. A fight that, if I'm honest with you, I think it's almost gone under the radar a bit. I mean, I go on a lot of boxing forums. I read a lot of people talking about boxing, and not many people are talking about this fight. Not many people. Maybe because it's just not the fight we want. Maybe because of all the things that have gone on with Jarrell Miller in the heavyweight division. Maybe the stuff that's gone on now with Dillian White and the WBC. But for some reason, not many people are talking about Deontay Wilder versus DOMINIC BREAZEALE. And they really should be. Number one, A, like I said, because it's a good fight. I think it is, and we're going to discuss that. But B, because this newfound popularity that Deontay Wilder has, right? This is what we're led to believe. We're led to believe that Deontay Wilder, right now, and I think it's true, is up there, right? He's up there. Can you see that? I think ESPN done their top 100 sports stars, and I'm sure Deontay Wilder beat out the likes of Joshua and Canelo and Pacquiao. So he really should be up here. What's going on? No one's talking about this fight, which is strange. This is a very important fight for Deontay Wilder. Not just because it's a difficult fight, and it is a difficult fight. Let's not underestimate DOMINIC BREAZEALE, but just because, again, of that newfound popularity. How is that going to translate to bums on seats? How is that going to translate to viewing figures? We'll see, right? I've just gone on Ticketmaster to have a look at what tickets are available. Remember, the fight is only, 6 days away now, and there are still tickets available, right? You can see this there now. There are still tickets available. It probably won't be a sellout. There is a lot of boxing in between sort of now, or has been anyway, between, I don't know, the start of April, when you think what was in the start of April, up until July. There's a lot of boxers. People are picking and choosing where they want to spend their hard-earned cash, but there are still tickets available here. Maybe some of these tickets will go. I think PBC and Al Heyman and Espinoza will probably do a lot of comps regardless. So I guess ticket sales isn't an indication of how well he's doing. It's more a case of how many people tune in to watch this fight. Hence why they've not put the fight on pay-per-view. How many people are going to tune in to watch this fight? I think a lot of people should, right? I think a lot of people should. I think this is a good fight. It's got a bit of bad blood. I don't know what sparked the issue that they had in the hotel lobby, but both of them look fired up for this one, especially Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder saying the same things he does when he's really up for a fight, talking about, I'm going to injure you and, I'm going to kill you, all that kind of stuff. And look, first and foremost, let's talk about that stuff. I feel like people get too upset about that talk. I really do. I don't know if it's the way we are now, but a lot of boxers have said things like that in the past. Mike Tyson routinely said things like that, and no one seemed to bat an eyelid. Deontay Wilder says it, and people go crazy. I almost feel like it's a character that he's now got. He's almost like a WWE character for me. I don't think he really means these things. I just feel like the switch goes on and he almost goes into kill mode, right? And look, he's a boxer. He's a prize fighter. He is there to hurt people. That's what he does. So I don't think people should get too upset about some of the stuff that he says. I just think that's Deontay Wilder now. And I just take it with a pinch of salt. But he is fired up for this one. He almost is taking his fight. You could argue on the back of a loss, right? A lot of people thought he lost that Tyson Fury fight. I think if you polled 100 people, I think 80 people would say he lost that fight. So, I mean, it's an important fight for him. He does need to look impressive, especially when you consider what's going on outside of Deontay Wilder, all this stuff with Anthony Joshua, right? Deontay Wilder has labelled himself as the king of the division. So he really does need a fantastic performance. I don't know what happens if he wins. I mean, there is a lot of talk about it possibly being Luis Ortiz next or Cal Naki. Dillian Whyte seems to be pushed back further and further. And Anthony Joshua just doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. I've almost forgot about that fight. But I think it's a good matchup. I think Dominic Breazeale is strong. He's tough. We know he's big. I mean, I think British fans might just think about that performance against Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua was just good on that night. Anthony Joshua was just very, very good on that night. And I think we should give credit to AJ rather than take credit away from Dominic Breazeale. After that, he has bounced back with three wins. He fought the unbeaten Polish-Nigerian, I think his name's Ugono. That was back and forth. That was a tough fight for him. He has got Virgil Hunter in his corner this time as well. That might add something. But I don't know if Virgil Hunter can implement any changes that quick in a fight. I think it takes about 5 or 6 fights for a trainer to really change things in a fighter. One thing I don't like about Dominic Breazeale is his feet. He is very, very slow with his feet. Almost a bit like Joe Joyce. Very, very slow. Deontay Wilder isn't. Although Deontay Wilder's foot movement is, at best, amateurish, it's pretty fast, right? He knows how to get in and out of the pocket pretty quick. Deontay Wilder is definitely favourite. We know what he can do with that right hand and the left. He's definitely favourite, but we also know he can be tagged. Deontay Wilder can be tagged and Deontay Wilder can be hurt. And Dominic Breazeale, well, of his fights, I think, how many fights has he had? Something like, I think 21, 22, I think 18 knockouts. So he can hit. He can hit. So I like this fight. I like this fight. Again, it's not going to get the publicity just because it's not AJ, just because it's not Fury. It was supposed to be Fury. That's not Deontay Wilder's fault. But, and I'll end on this, let's give Deontay Wilder some credit. As much as I make videos criticising Deontay Wilder, I mean, I'm not too displeased about Deontay Wilder's last 3 fights, including this one being Ortiz, Fury, and now Dominic Breazeale. That's a good run. I think that's probably the best run of all the heavyweights, if I'm honest with you. I'm trying to think of AJ's. What was AJ's last 3? So AJ's last 3, if you include Andrew Ruiz now, will be Andrew Ruiz, Povetkin, who? Parker? I'll take Breazeale. Yeah, I'll take Breazeale, Ortiz, Fury over that. So, I mean, as much as I do give him stick, I mean, this is a good run. I mean, forget what he done in the first 38, 39 fights. Right now is what we're talking about. I don't like when people go back and say, okay, who did he fight back then? Let's talk about now. And right now, Deontay Wilder's fighting decent opposition. I mean, look, I'm not happy that he's not fighting AJ, but, I mean, still fighting good fighters out there. I mean, those are 2 definite top 10 fighters. And, I mean, Breazeale might scrape the top 10. So that's 3 top 10 guys. Can't complain. Although, I know people will say Tyson Fury wasn't top 10 at the time, but again, Fury, Ortiz, and Breazeale, not bad at all. What do you guys think about the fight? Good fight? I think it's a great fight. I think it's a great fight. I think it's going to be a great fight. I think it's going to be an all-action fight. Again, just because of that bad blood, I think both of those guys are going to bite on the gum shield and fucking swing. So anyone can be knocked out in this one, and I think people should tune in. I've seen a few comments from people on Twitter saying they're not going to tune in because it's not the fight they want. Guys, look, we all want to see the big 3 mix it up. But regardless of if they mix up or not, there are still very good matchups to be made in the heavyweight division. And I think this is one of them. It might not be what we want, but this is a good matchup nonetheless. But guys, what do you think? Give me your predictions. Deontay Wilder versus Dominic Breazeale. I'm going to go for Deontay Wilder stoppage round 7. But I think up until then, he could be wobbled. He could go down. I'm just saying this now. He could go down. But what do you guys think? Let me know. Peace.